What is up, people who are viewing this now and who will view this later? I am your host, Jared the American, and we are covering lots to do with Mr. Beast. But I know I was going to show the Oompaville video, but we've got to show this one because this talks about some stuff. I know some of this stuff is going to appear in
So, Mr.
the Oompaville review, but first we just gotta get to this. Please, if you're viewing this, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. I just can't believe this is actually happening. Like, Mr. Beast, one of the biggest YouTubers, is having something. Probably his worst drama. Will he come out of it? Probably, but it's not looking good right now. I already made a video earlier. It's not doing well. I think my first video on this is just a one-off. It seemed like it was a one-off. Like the algorithm last time. I'm not sure why I have to. Ooh, is the microphone okay? Is the mic okay? Is the mic okay? Let me. I think it is. All right.
Beast has literally
So this is Kowalski on YouTube. Go give him a follow. I guess I'll subscribe. I mean, I'm not too sure.
just been exposed by the New York Times for not feeding his contestants.
So this is some of the new stuff that allegedly Mr. Beast was exposed for. He wasn't feeding his contestant, as there's a lot that's coming out that the Beast games, which is supposed to be on Amazon. I'm not sure if it already come out or if it's supposed to come out. Yeah.
Not giving them water, not giving them adequate medical care, and not letting one of his contestants take insulin for their health condition. It's seriously disgusting, and we'll be going over everything right now. So, boys, before we actually get into Mr. Beast being exposed by the New York Times, first, he actually responded to that one video clip of him for saying he wants to buy certain types of people. If you don't,
I don't have a problem with that. That's actually kind of funny. The edgy humor I'm okay with. Okay, we all say edgy stuff. We've all at one point or other said some edgy shit, called people F slurs and the N word. We've all said that. I'm not. What I'm have a problem with is the minors and also not the faking videos, but running potential scam scams, illegal lotteries. Um, and I guess actually the faking of the video because you're supposed to try and make it real, but it's the way he fakes it. Like if it was in such a way that you knew it was fake, I was like, all right, okay, we know it's fake, but I don't know.
you know what I'm talking about, I'll just play the clip right now.
Selling for $400 money. The most I would pay is like $300. Sorry, $400 is just out of my price range for that type of stuff. QQ, shut the fuck up, you stupid fat. The video was looped. How would I call you a stupid fat? Exactly. Now loop. And thanks, Hustlin, for the donation. I appreciate it. No more, no, boys, no more typing in chat, no more cursing. Selling 10 for $69 each.
And welcome back to this U.S. Open.
I'll let the grip.
Miller just lobbed a message way over Jones's head.
Each?
Not the
That's
grip.
a steep price.
I'll just let the ads play.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, he responded to the inappropriate comments he made. So in this article, Mr. Beast admits to using inappropriate language while trying to be funny as a teen after clips.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that so much. We all say edgy stuff. Like, if this is what these allegations are, this is kind of stupid. We've all said edgy stuff. I have this person who's putting out this video has. Obviously, Mr. Beast and Chris. Look at some of their old videos.
Surface with racist, homophobic comments. So Mr. Beast used inappropriate language while trying to be funny. So here is a response. So funnily enough, the response isn't actually from him. It's just from a member of his PR team. So someone that works for him. When Jimmy was a teenager, he acted like many
Listen. Yeah, it says it.
kids and used inappropriate language while trying to be funny, according a statement from Mr. Beast's rep provided to Variety, which is this article site. Over the years, he has repeatedly apologized and has learned that increasing influence comes with increased responsibility to be more aware and more sensitive to the power of language. After making some bad jokes and other mistakes when he was younger, as an adult, he has focused on engaging.
Obviously, he was kid making it. Obviously, when you mature, sure, you saw that edginess, but you've also got to take it back and you've got to be like, okay, I'm in the real world. I have to be serious.
With the Mr. Beast community to work together on making a positive impact around the world. So yeah, that's a pretty basic response. They didn't even really directly address it. They just said like, oh, sorry for making bad jokes. But honestly, I can't even blame them because Mr. Beast did say it when he was like very young, and it was like 10 years ago when the internet was a lot less harsh on people. But it was still pretty bad and still very inappropriate. But that's not even the main topic of this video. He was actually exposed by the new.
This is why I have a problem. This is one of the things I have a problem with. If he's putting out these contests, and yes, there is some stuff where it's like, okay, you knew what you're getting yourselves into, but also law people still need to be provided with appropriate medical supply, food, drinks, lots of stuff. Shelter, because these are done over the course of a specific amount of time.
New York Times, which if you didn't know is like the biggest newspaper, site, blog, whatever you want to call it, just the biggest newspaper in the world. Waiting to Die for Mr. Beast and 5 million. The contestants in the Internet Stars Beast games expected outlandish challenges and signed contracts that acknowledge a risk of serious injury and death. Still, few were prepared for the conditions set. So this is where they talk about before they actually got into the games, they had to sign a contract where it said that basically they were okay with dying. During an intake process this year, several contestants told the New York Times they had been asked whether they would be willing to be buried alive or travel to outer space. One contestant recorded being asked if she would be able to swim to shore if thrown overboard from a boat. I understand that such.
I mean, they're asking, but a lot of this is kind of risky. I mean, it depends on where it is.
Activities may cause me death, illness, or serious bodily harm, serious bodily injury, including but not limited to exhaustion, dehydration, overexertion, burns, and heat stroke, read a line in the contracts reviewed by the Times. That's applicants were required to sign. So basically, everyone that competed in the Beast games had signed a contract saying, "Yep, I'm okay with dying," which honestly is like a normal thing in a lot of these like TV shows. So it's not even that bad if you really think about it. So now they go into
it's like a non-disclosure. Obviously, you can't sue, but other people can sue on your behalf if you're dead. So, yeah.
of actually exposing Mr. Beast for not feeding them, not giving them water or healthcare. So, over a dozen people who participated in the first installment of Beast Games said that they had not received adequate food or medical care, and that some competitors had suffered injuries from the physical challenges. Some contestants left the competition arena on stretchers, a contestant said.
Back in 2022, I lost two very important.
I'm not promoting them. BetterHelp is, I've heard,
If any of
BetterHelp, I've heard a dog show organization. I mean, I could, if you want me to make a video on them, I could, but just from what I've seen, what I've experienced myself from YouTubers, BetterHelp apparently is a bad organization.
of those contestants had faced serious medical conditions. Another described watching fellow contestants vomiting and appearing to pass out. There were several hospitalizations. Jesus. Imagine going to a Mr. Beast
Several hospitalizations.
competition and like nearly dying. That's a sad way to go out. On your gravestone, it just says "Rip died during Mr. Beast games." Yeah, I would not take that. We signed up for the show, but we didn't sign up for not being fed or watered or treated like human beings, one contestant told the Times. So this is where they actually get into the main part. The games begin. The game started earlier this year with a $5 million prize, which
So
will be the
they're filming, I think.
biggest prize in streaming and television history. We were blown away by this ambition, yabba yabba yabba. Before they arrived at the start,
I just saw that shooting Nevada in July with Nevada. I've heard is hot in like that whole area is really hot. My parents have been to Arizona, and I think they went in the summer. It's like 100 degrees and higher. If anyone lives in Arizona, you'll know.
stadium on July 18, the contestants
This must have been the 1-year-old versus. It's like he has different people from different age groups from different ages compete against each other, and one. And this one was 82 years old. That's like not every elderly person is fit. Not every elderly person is Donald Trump able to get shot, put his fists up, and is still freaking fit. Obviously we've got Joe Biden who stumbled into the wrong jet, but that's a whole other story for another time I could talk about. I should actually make a video later on that. Joe Biden getting into the wrong jet. But I've just been so consumed in this Mr. Beast drama, I haven't made a political video in a while.
turn in
In an election year.
phones and belongings, including medications. So basically, all these contestants literally had nothing on them because obviously they're competing in the competition. They're not allowed to have anything on them. Right from the start, things seemed off. Some contestants
This might actually be a different one. Not
said that they had originally been told that the competition would have 1,000 participants, but there was actually 2,000. Several contestants also said they had not been warned about how little they would be given to eat, and
This seems like there's some OSHA violations, or maybe it's the wrong terminology. There seems to be there seems to be so many violations here. Honestly, there needs to be some sort of investigation. There needs to be some sort of investigation.
and how infrequently. They described going long stretches without being fed by the production. One said she had gone over 20 hours, both during the games and while they were in Las Vegas before and after filming. One meal described by several contestants included a tiny portion of cold oatmeal, one hard-boiled egg, and a few pieces of raw vegetables. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but this is like what you give to a 1-year-old toddler. Actually, I think they still drink breast milk at that point.
I think so, but I think toddlers they begin to phase out at that point. But this is a tiny portion of this is like some North Korean prison food. What the hell, Jimmy? You're feeding your fucking contestants North. This sounds like you get fed in prison in North Korea.
So actually, I'm lying. Meals throughout the games were small and sporadic. Contestants said it was difficult to keep track of time without watches or phones, but contestants estimated they had been fed twice a day. Once in the early morning and again in the afternoon or evening, a spokesperson.
What the actual? This does seem like a North Korean prison. What you have running on there, Jimmy? What are you doing, Jimmy? sounds like I straight this straight up sounds like a North Korean prison.
Contestants had been offered 3 meals a day. People with food
And then a spokesperson says they
for Mr. Beast said. Contestants had been offered 3 meals a day. People with food allergies and dietary restrictions
and I just saw this. On a few occasions the production staff passed around small feastful chocolate bars, a brand created by Mr. Donaldson, and filled some people eating and praising the candy. The contestant, yeah, of course they're going. You think Feastables is going to be nutritious? He says it's more nutritious than Hershey. When I've seen from DogPack that, oh, turns out not so much. Feastables are. This is not nutritious. The only worst thing, I guess, would be giving them Prime as well, which at that point, this is worse than a North Korean prison. I've never tried Prime, but I've just heard that it sucks.
contestants had been offered 3 meals a day. People with food allergies and dietary
This is also a bad part.
restrictions said they experienced even more trouble. Before the competition, contestants filled out forms detailing their dietary needs. But several contestants said they had been served food
If this
they
is,
were allergic to and the alternatives had not been provided.
and I know people are going to say, "Oh, New York Times," but you're a Trump source. Why are you trusting them when it's convenient? Listen, New York Times has actually gotten better, and plus, not everything that New York Times has posted in the past few years is fake news. Listen, the New York Times has been around for hundreds of years. They've gone through cycles, but they've survived. They've obviously have to have some sort of good reputation to still keep going, even if I don't agree with a lot of what they're saying. But what the New York Times is reporting here is that pretty much there was no logistics involved, and pretty much Jimmy, Mr. Beast, didn't think about holding. He just decided, oh, we're just gonna rush it through. These are people's lives. People's lives were at risk, and you're telling me you couldn't just push it back maybe a couple months, maybe a year, in order to make sure everything was met, every logistical thing was met. You were telling me you couldn't do that? Every logistical check mark?
So even though they asked them what allergies they have, they still gave them like nuts, even though they said they were allergic, which is just stupid and very reckless. We were treated horribly, and contestants said they took on this challenge of 2,000 competitors.
A lot of this,
They should have
and a lot of this has already been said. I'm just going over this because we're gonna have the Oompaville video next. The
known
interview
they
he
needed
did
an enormous
with
crew to handle.
uh Dawson,
this
DogPack,
correctly.
Mr. Dog.
So hungry, bruised, and bleeding. Oh no, this is not good. Several contestants said that when they had sought out production staff members for assistance with medical care, food and hygiene issues, their staff members were often not helpful and appeared disorganized. Some staff members yelled and cursed at contestants, one participant said.
You can skip this video, but you can't skip the truth. Right?
This is another thing. If I know I'm gonna get into a lot of hot water, but listen, we can talk about Gaza. I have my own views.
Right now in North Gaza, children are.
Which honestly,
Which the other day the Hamas leader got killed. If you, but yeah, we're not talking about Israel Palestine. We're talking about Mr. Beast.
it makes sense. If you got 2,000 people and you're not
I probably should get an ad block. Honestly,
well equipped, then yeah, this is gonna happen. But like, that's obviously Mr. Beast's fault. And next time they need to properly Like, they need to focus on taking care of their contestants instead of trying to make a good video out of it. Because if somebody died, like, Mr. B's career would be over. Despite reassurance that contestants' medication...
He is he is walking a tightrope with these competitions. If all these allegations are true, he's walking a tightrope because someone may have not died in this season, but if there was another season, or if one of his on his YouTube competitions, if someone ends up dying, you're gonna have a hard time covering that up.
would be distributed to them when needed. Several contestants said they had not received their medication on time, including one contestant who needed insulin, instead of receiving it in hours or even days after their scheduled dosing times. One contestant said she had initially been denied the food she required to take her medication and had been told by staff members that she didn't actually need to eat. After asking repeatedly, she was given half a banana. Yeah,
that's not enough.
These people are actually being starved. One woman said that when she and a group of contestants who were menstruating during the event had asked the production staff about getting their underwear more quickly, she had been told that it was not a medical emergency, and she recalled that a nearby member of the production staff had laughed at the woman's pleading. That is disgusting. Imagine a woman is bleeding, right, from her private bits, and you laugh at her and don't give her new underwear. Like, bro, what the hell is wrong with these people? One contestant said she had left the stadium bruised and bleeding after being injured and eliminated in the first challenge. She was handed $1,000 in a stack of dollar bills as a consultation prize, but she had to hand the money back to producers after the cameras were off. Competitors were told they would receive their real payments later. Bruh, and it's still not been...
They have not been paid. Holy crap. Yeah. I think if these, which I honestly have this feeling they might be true.
Been paid, so they gave her $1,000 in cash and took it back. Bro, that is fraud. And they end up the article with they had signed a contract that they were willing to die for this. So of course, this does not look good for Mr. Beast. If you're going to make a competition with 2,000 people, you need to first make sure everything's organized and everyone can be taken care of, not plan the video out to be good first and then put the people's safety last. Like, because if somebody died, Mr. Beast would be cancelled and his career would be over forever. It's actually very disgusting that his contestants were treated like this, even though he has so much...
I think his career might... Like, we talk about, oh, he'll be fine. I don't know. I really don't know. And now here's the Oompaville. And if you're not subscribed to Oompaville, go subscribe to him. I watched his beginning to mid-summer. He uploaded the review of the documentary Tickle. If you don't know, go look it up. It's a great documentary. I have watched snippets of it, but it got recent attention again. But he did I generally like him. I know I'm minuscule. I've got 103 subs to his 5.44 million. But if Oompaville would like to give me a shout, hey, I'm here. I would love to work with him. I like to work with a lot of these YouTubers. I think a lot of them are kind of funny.
Taking an L?
He like, all right.
2 L's. W. All right. Broken clock. It's right twice a day.
And we're gonna watch the whole thing because I think he deserves the whole thing.
If it walks like a quack, it ducks like a duck. In my most recent video, I got a little bit of pushback. All right, guys, just a little bit. I genuinely do try to approach this YouTube thing as fairly as I possibly can. And
you've got to, and I could acknowledge that a lot of these could be disgruntled employees who are just making this stuff up. But I don't know. The more stuff that comes out, and we still have this video from DogPack, which I'm actually gonna pull up his channel. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to actually hang hang on a second. I'm going to have D-Day Cobra playing in the background. Be right back. I'm back. Yeah, Trump's actually doing a thing with Aiden Ross on Monday. That's who he needs to reach. He's reaching out to the right PR. I know Aiden Ross is controversial. I know he's kind of an asshole.
Be a smart, intelligent person, but I am unfortunately a low IQ individual. So, with that being said, I decided to reach out as I should have done so many times before this specifically, but reach out to Dawson, the guy who made the Mr. Beast video, and see if he wanted to.
And this is DogPack. Can't wait for him to upload. This video is uploaded. I'll be sure to take a look.
Do a little interview real quickly. Turns out he messaged me before the video even went up, and he is someone that I have had access to this whole time and just didn't reach out because I'm a fool, guys, because I'm a fool. So in the interest of fairness and in the interest of actual rationality, let us have both sides of the story in this one video on Mr. Beast, who I, on the face, refuse to believe is a evil, the Antichrist.
Yeah, obviously you've seen him do all this charity work. See him do all this, but when you look more into it,
but maybe though, I don't really know. A lot of people say it. It's a big meme. A lot of people hate the man, just seems like for no reason, basically, really, to be honest. But also, there's a reason that this video is blown up so bigly, and it seemed to resonate with a lot of people. And the Mr. Beast camp still has yet to come out and make any sort of statements outside the Ava Tyson stuff, which is very cut and very dry and easy to determine who's the fucking degenerate and who is not. So,
well, they did make a video. That guy Chucky came out on YouTube. They didn't make a video. It was a post. There's been some of that stuff. There's been cease and assist.
Once again, in the interest of 2 L's, potentially have a W here, I may be retiring as Mr. Beast's biggest glazer. All right, his biggest apologist. But that's only because Dawson paid me more than Mr. Beast. Or, yeah, Dawson's paid. No. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Do you want to play college soccer? Then listen up. I'm Tom Shortland, the head coach.
With a lot of it's like, I'll ask you some questions. So, firstly, I'd like to say that I'm sorry, genuinely, and I'm not one to apologize for just no reason at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't even expect you to apologize. I mean, I watched your video and maybe it's because I've watched your content before and I know you're sort of a Mr. Beast defender, but I wasn't expecting. It was pretty much on par with what I expected, I guess.
Okay,
and I thought it was
you got me
fair.
Oh, see, that's what I was trying to do. See, I was trying to be fair. I generally, I'm now the Mr. Beast apologist on YouTube, though.
Yeah. Well, I think every creator is.
That's true.
He is kind of true because Mr. Beast built up this reputation over the years of being this good guy.
But I don't want to be. I want to be honest, though. I want to have good faith. I don't want to be right. I just want to be honest. And
I'm not sure how much we're going to continue because I do want to watch Cobra Cast right now. How
my intent is not matching with what the information that I have in front of me, and there's some crazy level of cognitive dissonance. It needs to be made clear. So that's the whole point of this. Hopefully, we'll be able to
address your cognitive dissonance.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say bury the hatchet, but that's nonsense. All right, so I got a list of questions here. Did you ever get to meet Mac? Are there numerous employees like Mac who have won prizes, or is Mac the main guy? Have you ever met anyone else?
I have met Mac.
Okay.
I remember I don't know if you know how I got hired, but I had posted, I sent them my job application, but they also don't usually respond. So I also posted it on the Reddit. And then someone had contacted me. But in that job application, which is public, I'm detailing all these ways that faking videos is bad or whatever, in my opinion. and I use like Mac as a reference, and then I get to the company and it's like my first day and I just see Mac in the hallways and I'm like, the fuck? I didn't know he worked here.
Interesting. So he was kind of like
It's kind of surprised by that.
yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, do you think they didn't do any research into you first, or do you believe that they just not care?
Well, my first manager, I think I sort of slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
Because my first manager left, like he put in his 2 weeks notice the second day that I was at the company.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a whole thing. But
so the main thing that you've claimed really well, there's two kind of like big points that are really egregious in my opinion in all of your claims, and that is number one, the illegal lottery thing. That's bad. Okay, that's like objectively bad. That's a crime. That's fraud. Nobody should do that. Secondarily, the big thing is like that people have said for so long is that his videos are faked, and like the extent of which they are faked. Do you think that some of the philanthropy channel videos are like faked? They're obviously a different thing because it's all for good. Like, what is your stance on the philanthropy aspect of the Mr. Beast industrial complex?
It's hard to go into the philanthropy right now because that's kind of what I'm investigating.
Okay.
And I've received DMs from people who I have verified as Mr. Beast employees claiming different ways in which they're sort of fluffed up, and it's sort of a controlled narrative. Like, I'll give one example, which is a DM I received about somebody saying that when he healed 1,000 blind people, many of those people were going to get the surgery for cheap or for free, regardless.
I heard about this. He talked about this on the Cheeto the other day.
Okay.
He maybe like expedited the process or something.
So,
but then he sort of claims full credit for it.
Yeah, so it's not to say that it's like totally necessarily like you're not trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's more so just like for the sake of transparency, right? Like this man is claiming all these things. He should be able to be 110% transparent. Like you shouldn't spin something that. It has a
probably the worst time, but. I'll let this
possibility. Go ahead.
Yeah, the logic there, I think that the company would respond if it was like 100% undeniable that they fluffed things up. It's like, okay, well, we're fluffing it up for entertainment value so that the video gets more views, we get more ad revenue. Like most of the 501c stuff, it's legitimate. I'll say that. Like, it's not to discredit his charity work, but sometimes there's like the charity is being used to fund certain interests. I've also heard like he was exposed for trashing a beach. Essentially, this was like a controversy a while ago, but it didn't get much attention. And I've heard that it was the philanthropy side of the business that actually went and cleaned up the beach instead of like his production company. So it's like that could be shady, but
right. Huh. Yeah, because that's where my biggest kind of like problems lie with all this stuff is the lack of transparency from like business dealings intrinsically. Because it's cool to have someone be honest and everything when you're running a business, but like from the creator side of it, to be as successful as he is, or to be as successful really as any, you have to do things occasionally that are immoral, but you don't have to use your charity company to clean up a beach that you messed up. And like you don't have to make the claim about the candy being healthy, the 5-in-1, like you don't have to do all those things, but like it's like, well, it's for entertainment. So that's my scapegoat. That's why I don't need to be transparent. It's an invalid defense.
Yeah. And those are just allegations that have been messaged. So I haven't really dug super deep into it, which is why I haven't made any definitive statements on anything.
And looking on, is there anything that, from your first video that you sort of want to amend or do you have like, are you 110% sure you're justified and validated?
Or do you want to just go through Chucky's tweet or no?
Yeah, I can go ahead and go through Chucky's tweet.
Because like as far as the claims of like selling fake signatures, rigging contest videos, and illegal lotteries, obviously, like I think those
Yeah.
claims are legitimate, and I stand 100% by them. You know, they just took down the 5-hour live stream on their Facebook page,
Right.
So I feel like
That
that's
validates
sort of
it.
an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can
And
go through like Chucky's specifics that he called me out on because he cherry picked the worst arguments in the video, obviously, and even these, like I don't think his rebuttals are great, and he didn't really provide any evidence.
okay, so I've got Chucky's tweet here. He said, "You won't get in a video unless your family or friends are with someone that works at Beast Inc." I can just put his statement on screen. You already know his statement. We don't need to go through the whole thing. But
Yeah, so in that instance, I don't know what he's quoting. He's putting things in quotation marks, but I never said that. Like
Yeah.
you watched my video, you know that I
you didn't
said.
say that. Yeah.
So just straw man argument, and then the train track was CGI, bus wheels are CGI, pit is fake. That's probably his best rebuttal.
Mhm.
However, when that video came out, Train versus Pit, Jimmy received a lot of criticism about using CGI in that video, and I can send you some screen caps. Like he was denying it in YouTube comments and on Twitter. Like they say, "Oh, it was never a secret," but it's like,
Yeah.
well, when you're being criticized
Send an email to someone. Gonna wait to see if I can get an interview with a big YouTuber.
for using CGI, why are you not openly acknowledging it? Again, not a big claim in my video.
What about the raccoon?
Raccoon was, dude. The raccoon. In reality, it's much worse than being a paid actor.
Okay.
Yeah,
this raccoon thing, because the raccoon was actually domestic. It was trained. It was not a wild raccoon. Obviously, you don't pet a wild raccoon. You don't know if it has rabies or not. Plus, it's just dirty.
domestic raccoon that they brought to the set, and they're like sort of treating it
I
like
wasn't sure what the best way to put it, but domestic, yeah.
a prop. They're putting it in the ceiling and then pretending like they just discovered it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's a scene where somebody off camera takes the raccoon and like throws it onto the bed, and I'm sure you could pull this clip up. The edit is very strange because there's a zoom in and pan up, so it like hides the fact that the raccoon is going on the bed, but what it's really doing is hiding the fact that someone's throwing the raccoon. And then there's a voiceover in post of Jimmy saying, "Oh man, the raccoon just ran in the hotel or whatever," and they're like screaming at it and shit. So it's like almost, I wouldn't say animal abuse, but like it's kind of borderline mistreatment when you're just like using it as a prop and then scaring it for no reason.
Yeah, I don't like the whole. Yeah, that's bizarre. Yeah, that's really weird. The island costs more than $1. What about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about that response?
If you literally Google what he tells you to Google, it used to say that it was $1 for the transfer fee, but $27 plus taxes and everything. Also, like the tax property records show that the island is valued at $800, and then they leased it back to the owner for $0. Which is like, dude, who gives a shit that the island didn't cost $1? It's just insane that they go to such extremes to never admit that they've ever faked anything. That Chucky released his statement at 4 a.m., which is like, I think that's very intentional to when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean the article has been changed, which is kind of weird.
Do you like having a PO box but are tired of wasting time and money driving to the post office?
Yeah, I've got to get an ad block.
You're going to do all that effort to just not admit that the island was $28 instead of $1 or $800 instead of $1.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, who cares? Yeah. Like why would you defend that so heavily? Like, yeah, we did it for a video. Of course, it's not that big of a deal. The video got a lot of views, but that's like the whole thing is like he's building up this massive empire. It's all predicated on the generosity, the genuine nature, the philanthropy, the transparency. That's what it's all that is like the main thing holding all this up. So it has to be, the criticism for that has to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I don't know if I can speak to this. I think him saying "how on earth would you know" is like baiting me into giving confidential information, like breaking my NDA or whatever. Because actually people think that I broke my NDA, but like 90% of that video is public information, and then like the other 10% is about crimes. It was like it was pretty decently strategic. I don't think they would have a case, and like I've spoken with lawyers and everything. So, oh yeah, I didn't tell you. I got a cease and desist
from Beast. From Beast.
Yeah, we saw the cease and desist.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You can put that up. I can send that to you.
Yeah, dude. Satan, Lord of Darkness. Is that real? I think they forgot to change that. Mr. Beast YouTube LLC, among other things, disclosing sensitive, confidential, proprietary information. Company business. How do you feel about that? Do you feel nervous, or do you feel
No.
excited?
I feel confident.
You feel
It's not excited.
little nervous, a little bit. You got to feel a little. I would be shitting myself if I were you.
No, I'm not shitting myself.
Well, you're
because it was 100% expected. It was 100% expected.
Right. I mean, to be honest, like it's cool to be nervous and not scared though, because like you are coming from the perspective of this is what you believe is truth, and you're doing this out of good faith. Like it doesn't. The whole disgruntled employee thing. That's sort of that was my initial response as well. It's like because we've seen so many of these types of things happen, but at some point it becomes like if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And that duck doesn't mean that they're all disgruntled employees. It's that maybe there's something going on internally at the company to cause these disgruntled employees, quote unquote. It's become
there's obviously got to be
a bizarre thing. I'm interested to see how the coverage of this continues to go further and further. You need to keep me updated on your cease and desist, because you're not ceasing or desisting. It seems like. So let's see. Revenge storyline added in post.
Yeah, 100% is added in post. 100%.
Okay.
There's a clip of Jimmy in an interview with John Ushai or whatever, and he says, "Oh, this is why he got out," or I don't know, maybe he did get out just because he didn't know or he thought no one else stepped out, and like that's the truth of the matter. It's like, who cares? Again, he's just addressing points. Where it's like, even if I prove that it was fake, I feel like a lot of people in the Twitter comments are then like, well, who really cares that the island cost $28?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, you're right.
Who?
It's not about them. Yeah, it's not about it's just about them covering it up to such an extreme degree that they can't admit to one little thing.
Yeah, and to be honest,
they need to have pitch perfect, and the video in question it's like $1 island versus $1 billion.
Too, I don't feel like this doesn't feel like as much of an attack as I thought it was on day one. Like it's genuinely just like you need to be held responsible. These are all valid criticisms. Like there's this is not in bad faith. This is good faith, and it's for kids. Like that's 3 days on, or however many days it's been. That's where I'm at with the whole thing. Whereas day one, I was like, eating my Feastables or whatever. Which I don't even like Feastables. I've only eaten them on camera once, and I don't like chocolate very much, so it's like not even that crazy.
Honestly, I should just be eating a Hershey on stream.
But it's funny reading all the negative comments in my video though. It's very interesting. They think that I have a collab brewing with Mr. Beast. He's never even
Yeah,
dude. I've literally turned down so much shit on YouTube. I do not give a about YouTubers, but I just want to be honest, and that's what this seems like. It seems like that's what you kind of started off doing in the beginning, which is good, and you're not being forced to be honest like some people. Not only were the results of the video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
Yeah, upper echelon posted a whole video almost exclusively about this claim, and he goes into like case law about how he blatantly rigged the results of a challenge and how that could be illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, his point is basically like, why does the world's largest game show with the highest viewership not have to follow traditional regulations?
It's a good point. That's what it all boils down to too. That's like I don't know why it's like not a thing that everyone can just be like, this is the reasonable confrontation, that this is the reasonable thing. Why would they need to send you a cease and desist for any of this? That's what I don't understand. Like if it's all stuff that people talk about, like you're not being like Mr. Beast is the Antichrist, maybe a little bit, but like at the same time,
he might.
Who cares, right? That's something.
Yeah, I cut that part out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that part. I watched it minute one. Like literally, I think it had maybe 30,000 views when I watched it, and I don't remember when that was. But it's interesting. It's really interesting. Like why? I don't know.
Yeah, my point wasn't that he is the Antichrist, but I wanted to basically say, people at the company speculate that he is the Antichrist, but then it's like that's total hearsay. I have no evidence of that.
People at the own company do.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the Bible Belt, and it's like people sort of joking, feeling around ideas is the impression I get from it. It's like one girl talked to me about it, like explaining her theory in detail, actually referencing Bible verses and shit. And I'm not Christian. I don't know any of this. And it seemed like she was looking for me to sort of offer her like comfort or validation to be like, nah, that's crazy or whatever.
Interesting. Wow, that is very funny.
That's
Imagine
kind of weird.
walking around in your organization and there are people who work for you who think you might non-ironically be the Antichrist.
Look no further than
He might.
the pros at AJ Perry. Call AJ Perry today and we'll waive the service call.
Like, I'm Christian. I'm still learning about. Like, I identify with the Catholic faith. My father's Catholic, my mom's Jewish. I've said this before. Yeah. Isaac Garfield, he put a video out which he was doing the claims. Like, at first, yeah, there's some of them, but it kind of does fall apart. I'm not sure. Maybe we avoided the Antichrist now. Maybe we're avoiding inflation. I mean, the Bible says it doesn't give a specific time when the events of Revelation happen. So I guess we might be avoiding them. Good job, people.
Dude, no wonder this
Good job if that's true.
video did well. People are thinking it. It's just a thing.
Oh yeah, I have so many former employees in my DMs that are like agreeing and like even some that obviously everybody wants to be anonymous. People who were in the videos in the past, like that are known.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Chandler.
No, but if he reads Book of Revelations tomorrow on his TikTok, holy shit.
Bro, Chandler is becoming. If Chandler gets fired from Mr. and from what I have, and this was a long time ago, and I do know that Mr. Beast, he did, I think, go to a Christian school. Let me actually. Jimmy Donald. All right, let's see. He went. All right, so on his wiki, he says that he went to a small private evangelical Christian high school. And I'm not sure. Let's see. Personal life. He's an agnostic theist. The Christian. He's disagree. So he says that he's a theist, agnostic. So he does believe in. I don't know. Doesn't say.
Also, I think some of the
I would have to read Revelation again. I have to read Revelation, but because I've read bits and pieces. I haven't read the full thing. I know how it plays out, but does it mention that the Antichrist came from a Christian background? Like the Antichrist, or does it? You'll have to correct me on this. I've got to really refresh.
Mr. Beast giveaways are
my Christian knowledge.
Fake. Did they fake giveaways, you think?
I think some of them just kind of slip through the cracks, or it's like, you're giving away 1,000 phones. Maybe one producer, they want one for their nephew or something. No one's like actually regulating. It's not like the FTC is watching over their shoulder. So you can get away with some small things here and there, but mostly the giveaways are legit.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing too. It's like if you're predicating your brand on this is the giveaway thing, you don't have the inch of wiggle room to just give a phone to a producer. You don't have that thing. If it's like once a year, whatever, but no, that's Mr. Beast. Like it's a totally different thing. Like the PNC, the company that gives away those or Publishers Clearinghouse or whatever, the people who give away those checks all the time and people win the lottery and all that stuff. If someone in that company were to be giving money to someone outside the rules of the law, they would get destroyed and be seen 100% bad faith and go to jail probably via the FTC. So it's like, rules for thee, but not for me, because Mr. Beast is a pioneer and a trailblazer.
Oh, actually.
And I think actually I did see something. This goes back. He was supposed to actually attend a event for Kamala Harris at some point.
Referring to giveaways, I do have new evidence of like potentially another legitimate crime, which is that I talked about the golden ticket giveaway for the Willy Wonka video and how one of those tickets went to a YouTuber called Della Vlogs. There was another former employee DM'd me on Twitter, and he told me that there's another contestant in that video who his name is Justin, and he's Ava Chris Tyson's cousin. If he did,
this is totally that's totally not suspicious.
Some explanation, like maybe the contestant dropped out or something and they replaced him with him, then it could be fine. But like in a sweepstakes, if he actually won a golden ticket, which is what the employee is telling me, then that's completely illegal because you have to disqualify your family members,
right,
of employees. So
that's interesting. When is your second video coming out?
Well, I gotta talk to my lawyers.
Oh shit! You gotta talk to your lawyers, and you gotta get more mushrooms. More mushrooms. Is that what Chunky said? That explains your erratic behavior.
Yeah, my erratic behavior. He also said like I only worked at the company for a month. Sort of deceptive. I mean, I was contacted by the company back in February 19th. And then February 22nd, I signed a non-disclosure agreement and I started working with the company. It's just unpaid, whether you call that like a trial or training or whatever. But then I got to Greenville March 10th, and there was just like no time with the CEO or whatever to like sign the paperwork apparently.
Okay.
So that's why March 25th, 15 days after I arrived in Greenville, is when I officially started the 90-day contract. And then after I got fired, April 19th, the day that I got fired, one of Mr. Beast's oldest YouTube friends, like known him since 10K subscribers, he called me and he said that he wanted to hire me, but he had to ask Mr. Beast first, like Mr. Beast Corporation, for permission because his company, one of their clients is Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast Corporation didn't say like, oh, don't hire him, he's erratic. And then after I got hired by his company, I was again doing work for Mr. Beast. And I was like in contact with people at Mr. Beast.
Interesting. It's just another one of those sort of weird things where they're like unnecessarily adding layers to something that's really not that complicated.
There's such like loophole specific
that's weird
paperwork, which I can send evidence of all of what I just claimed too if you want to include that in your video and put it on screen.
You can only be so fair without evidence, and I'm trying to be as fair as possible. And so far the evidence is we've got an argument of good faith and then an argument of bad faith. That's pretty much what it boils down to. And yours is the good faith one, by the way. Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does, and I hate to see it come to question with a bunch of lies. Dawson, if you leave this up, then you're a hypocrite. Do you think that is a true statement? How much control does Mr. Beast actually have? How much do you think you can blame these things that, it's Mr. Beast. That's it. It's him. How much can you blame on the people around him reasonably? Not saying you ever should. He is the face and the name and the main guy he's going to be extracting the most from this, so he should be able to take the responsibility of all the faults and criticisms, etc. But if you were to be as fair as you possibly could and even play devil's advocate, what would you say percentage wise? What's Mr. Beast's fault? What is not?
Yeah, no, I actually like play with this idea and speculate a lot. Like, okay, if Jimmy was fully innocent, how could he get into this position? And it'd be like, you hire people who do bad things and then they use those bad things as like blackmail cards against you. So like maybe somebody pressured him really hard into selling fake signatures, and now that they know that he sold fake signatures, it's harder to fire them in case they go to Time Magazine. Like concept called like blackmail inflation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anything could be possible. Mr. Beast could be completely innocent. I've seen some behaviors and things that make me think that, you know, he's not, like what I told you privately in DMs and everything. But yeah, so I don't know, 50-50. Let's call it 50-50.
Be interesting.
So that's where I'm kind of that as well. You know, with
Be interesting. Hey, you know what? I'll also link my. Where at? I think I should link my Discord. Let me actually get my Discord account. Maybe I should just wait.
because I have some character references. See, after seeing everything that you've said, right, I feel like even in spite of character references and in spite of like low IQ, you know, he's a philanthropist type defenses, which I do think is very important. I think the overall good you do is more important than like the intricacies of being an ethical content creator or whatever. But once again, it transcends that because he's got giveaways and he's breaking laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So like very, very, very early on thoughts. I feel like with all the character references that I've gotten, it's about 50-50 in that I've seen people, I know people very personally who have spent a lot of time with him and they love him. And I know people who, and they think he's like a genius and like a visionary and he really does bring a lot of people up, et cetera, et cetera. And then I know people who are like, that guy is not a human being. That guy, like he gambles all day long. Like shit like that, I've heard people say. Total hearsay. I don't know if that's true or not, but the people who have said it, I would believe them. Not enough to where I'm going to make an entire video about it, but it boils down once again to a 50-50 thing, which is I think why it's so important to talk about all this stuff, because I believe that your argument is in good faith. And I think talking about this point specifically for someone like me, that really reinforces my belief that what you're saying, the things that you're saying are truly in good faith and that you're not a disgruntled employee. If you are rightfully so disgruntled employee.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch my video and like view it through the lens of, oh, this guy's just a disgruntled employee, but the evidence still speaks for itself.
Of course. I mean, it
that's
really
what I was
does.
trying to that video is like sort of remove myself from it and just show you as much evidence as possible.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, sometimes that gets lost on even great geniuses like myself. So fools. Fools. So we talked about alleged illegal lotteries and how they were conducted. Do you have any more instances of that other than the instances that were covered in the video? We mentioned the 5-hour live stream that was taken down.
Well, I drew the line at like 30 million subscribers because there's countless examples of him doing this back to, 10,000 subscribers.
It's good to know that there's a clear line in the sand now. That's good.
There's also like, he did a shady live stream with Team C's where it's the same thing, like buy in the next couple minutes and you could win an iPhone, you could win a car. I think he gave away 4 cars.
On another note, so there's some news in the UK. I could cover this. I might make a video of this on Monday. There's protests. A lot of right-wing protesters are erupting against the current situation. They've just had a boiling point. It's enough. Enough is enough.
Doing that live streams. I didn't talk about it because it's charity work, but even still, like legally,
right?
Yeah.
It's like it's the same argument. It's something bad good because it's for something good. At what point do you have to once again just draw a line in the sand and be like, no, you need to be held responsible. If anybody should be held responsible, it should be that guy. It should be the #1 guy. You know, he shouldn't be able to slip through the cracks. What was your job title exactly while you worked for Mr. Beast Corporation Enterprises LLC?
Ideation strategist.
How complicit are the other actors in the Mr. Beast content? Ava Tyson being shut down, how complicit do you believe like Carl and Chandler, even though he reads Bible verses now? Like, how responsible do you hold them all?
Far less responsible. I mean, they have families, they have their livelihood on the line. The people who are responsible at Mr. Beast are literally nameless. Like, you guys don't know that they exist.
Okay.
Yeah, Carl's innocent. Chandler's innocent. Hey, if they come out, I'll invite them on if they want to speak out.
Okay, that's very reasonable. Okay.
I'm just some nobody YouTuber.
Executives.
Okay. I just don't see someone like Chandler or even like Carl or even Ava or any of these people having anything to do with any of this. Like, they just don't seem like these giant geniuses. They're just like regular ass.
No, they're actually like kept in the dark.
Interesting.
In terms of like productions and stuff. Yeah, specifically. And the reason is because like someone like Chandler might actually leak it, even if it's accidentally.
Right. He might read a specific Bible verse. That old prophecy about the next Mr. Beast giveaway being fake. One of the interesting things to me that I felt like was really good YouTube content.
I do see a lot of the Bible coming up.
But didn't necessarily sway my opinion on anything, be it whatever it may have been, ignorance, whatever you would want to call it, is the studies of children's psychology. And
children are very susceptible, okay? We were all susceptible as children. You're lying if you say that you aren't.
And the incorporation of those studies and the knowledge that they gain from that, like literal academic study of children's psychology and the application of that into the content and the strategies and the business model. Because to me, that is something that I find abhorrent. And I, saw the video, and I'm not going to just magically believe that, obviously, but it makes perfect sense. And the points you make are there. But I would have to see like an SOP from Beast Incorporated LLC Satan.com, and it would have to say like something specific for me to just blatantly believe that type of thing. But we're talking about this, and hypothetically speaking, so I can give you the benefit of the doubt because I'm an ignoramus. How deep is that? What level of manipulation of children's psychology do these people use for profit? Like how far does that go, do you think, in your opinion?
I mean, it's endless. They'll go as deep as they can. Again, I don't specifically know that Jimmy's like super into that. I've heard him say on podcasts, hey, we do study psychology or whatever. But I think when he's saying we, it might be like, okay, this department at the company studies psychology.
So did you ever observe any examples of that in the ideation process?
Yeah, but if we got into specifics, they have to cut it.
Okay, yeah, but okay, I got you. Trust me, bro. I trust you. I do believe you. Yeah, because that's where it starts to get really bizarre and strange, and the marketing.
The marketing is weird with every. The marketing actually gets weird. I mean, the Feastables thing, the whole Feastables. Before this whole thing came out, I had been for days craving a Feastable. Now I'm no longer craving that. Now that I find out all this stuff. Yeah. Hang on.
Marketing is pretty much always.
Hang on, I've got something. Gotta take a call. Sorry, that was my mom.
Always bad. Do you have any examples of like kind of good positive strategies for marketing just in general? Like what because now you're so hyper aware of like this YouTube thing. What would you say is like an example of a brand or a content creator or someone who's doing well, just to like kind of shine some positive light?
Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube named Oompaville.
Fuck you, bro.
I'd say like Ryan Trainer probably as well.
I would agree.
Bo Burnham, when he was around, he was great. I think he was almost
Ryan
too.
Trahan's actually a good. Though apparently he was in the competition. I didn't watch the Mr. Beast video. I'm not watching. Yeah, but I do want to see. Sir, I do want to see how. What's the ratio look like? Oh my! So 1.7 million upvotes, 1.2 million downvotes. This is actually, and there's been accusations that he's been deleting comments. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Ollie and
Let's actually just see this for a minute. Can we just? They're all talking about Hugo. I didn't watch it. I guess Hugo was one of the contestants who won. Let's see. If there is, let's see. Honestly, though.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff I really appreciate it. By the way, you flattered me. You flattered
Yeah,
me
he's
too
got,
much. I did not deserve that. That is something that I
Kirby
try to do whenever I make videos. I try to
Give a shout out to Kirby.
like morally.
Yeah, he's got the
And if I
Jenny
feel
tweeting his
stupid,
comments
or if I
hardcore.
feel that I was wrong.
I mean, if you want to talk, if you got a comment that got deleted, come out again.
100%. I need to make it right at the expense of my own.
I swear to
I
God,
don't
this
really
is
care about
crazy.
my feelings or whatever. I really like to try and find the good faith aspects of the things that I'm talking about. It's so.
Yes, you always want to find the good aspect. You don't want just to say, "Oh, he's bad. This." And you saw DogPack acknowledge, Mr. Beast could be a good guy. He might. So he could acknowledge he could be wrong, which is pretty good.
So easy to talk about degeneracy. It's so easy to talk about Ava Tyson and like all these freaks that I talk about and cover all the time. Like it's so simple. Stuff like this, it's difficult. It requires someone with a higher IQ. And I do
more minutes left on it, so we're just gonna power through.
I can't say that I felt the same first watch, all things considered with your video on Mr. Beast, but having digested it as a critically thinking human being over the last couple of days, it appears to be 100% good faith as well. I can confidently say it does not seem like you want to necessarily gain anything from this. You're not a bad actor.
I don't think I don't know too much, but he doesn't seem like. I mean, the video wasn't even monetized. You think if he wanted to gain something, he would try to monetize the video. I mean, I'm not sure if because he created his channel back in June, and he just uploaded recently, and he's got all these subscribers now. He could just apply for monetization. He could definitely at some point apply for monetization if he just makes a couple more videos. Or I'm not sure really how the whole thing works. I still need to get figured out
honest
for when I get to that mark of 500 subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, we're all monkeys. We will lie if we have to. I mean,
of course.
I just try to be honest, I guess.
What do you think about the Rosanna Pansino thing and like the whole Amazon games, all that stuff coming out now? Because it's just like ever since Ava Tyson happened, there's been so many different little strings of what's going on. What are your feelings about all that?
When I first arrived at the company, there had recently been a Time magazine article published with like a video and stuff. They came and interviewed him at the studio. I heard lots of stories about that interview and everything. And there was multiple employees in that Time magazine piece that were sort of whistleblowing against safety, like OSHA violations and everything at the company, which then like the reporter came to the studio.
We saw in that other video, there was you could definitely say there's OSHA violations.
Studio. Apparently, Jimmy thought it was going to be like maybe Time Person of the Year or whatever.
Yeah, fluff piece.
And then this reporter started asking questions about safety, and you can actually see in the video, Jimmy kind of has to awkwardly kick her out halfway through the interview. And then apparently because she was asking about safety, and they had already spoken to former employees.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
When you start asking actual questions,
I hadn't witnessed anything personally because I was on pre-production, but I had heard through the grapevine lots of stories about poor safety practices. So it wasn't unexpected at all, to be honest, like Beast Games, especially because originally they wanted it to be 5,000 contestants, and they wanted it to be like
5,000. Because we had seen, I'm not sure if seemed like they're talking about the same competition. They were saying supposed to be 1,000. They were told, the contestants were told there's going to be only 1,000. Ends up being 2,000. Apparently, according to him, there were supposed to be 5,000.
getting down to, so this is for episode 0, which would be on Mr. Beast's YouTube channel, 5,000 contestants down to 1,000. And my job to come up with ideas.
But I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if they're talking about the same one, but it ends up being 2,000. So, yeah.
What challenges
make of that what you will.
Can you do with 5,000 people and, whatever the budget is, that are safe and entertaining? There's not many. So they wanted to just have a giant dice, essentially, eliminate people. Like people that they said, hey, take 3 months off work, fly here, and then just get eliminated by a giant dice, which they didn't end up doing that, luckily. I thought they were when they went to Vegas, but well, maybe they should have done that, because what ended up happening was a bloodbath.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And I have people in my DMs saying that they had got into Beast Games, they got the email that they were accepted and everything, and then they were ghosted the last second. So I'm thinking that the decision to go from 5,000 to 2,000 might have happened last second. And there's like production people and contestants, like 3,000 of them essentially, who just got ghosted.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
Huh. And that was all originally predicated once again on the, this is a huge opportunity of a lifetime, be a part of the Mr. Beast Games, and then they're just ghosting people instead of, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then if you get there, then you don't like get your medication. Production lost some people's medication, and those people got eliminated because production lost their medication.
Oh my god. That's horrible. That's horrible mismanagement.
Nice.
Yeah. And then they say, hey, sign this piece of paper. And then by signing that piece of paper, you can't take part in a class action lawsuit.
Jesus. This is terrible.
But we'll send you $1,000 in 4 months.
Logan Paul style.
If you dig into the
how much you want to say they never got that $5,000? I'll bet the $5,000 they never got the $5,000.
Testimonies from people, and they're all unverified because there's no video footage of these things happening that's been released yet. But it's a lot of people corroborating the same stories. It's just crazy. Which that was a Mr. Beast production, not an Amazon production, because it was for episode 0, the promotional video on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have to turn on my ad block. I just keep thinking.
Now,
like,
I
respect it. He's making money.
Guess what, guys?
Oh, I missed it. Let me see. Darn.
Originally, they wanted it to be like getting down to can you entertaining actually. Bloodbath. 1,000 might have happened last second, and there's like production people and contestants.
This is around where
3,000 of them essentially, who just got ghosted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Huge opportunity of a lifetime. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then if you get there, then you don't like get your medication.
Nice.
Yeah. You can't take
Logan Paul style.
If you dig into the testimonies from people, and they're all unverified because there's no video footage of these things happening that's been released yet. But it's a lot of people corroborating the same stories, and it's just crazy. Which that was a Mr. Beast production, not an Amazon production, because it was for episode 0, the promotional video on his YouTube channel.
Now, do you think that Mr. Beast pays YouTubers to apologize for him? Do you think that their team goes out of their way to silence people or hush people? Is it like a big cabal?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the instance. Like, I think
This should be interesting.
Most likely, Keemstar is probably bought. And then I think there's a lot of
All
other
right.
YouTubers who are like
That's
like
awesome.
Ludwig
Guys,
or whatever. Not
first
to
thing,
call
gotta
anybody out.
go.
There's like every single
course.
YouTuber who is probably in that 50 YouTuber video. There's
right.
some rapport. There's
Have fun.
Jimmy's well aware of the law of
And
reciprocity.
thanks for
that
being
if you
here,
give to
by the
someone,
way.
they're more likely to
We really appreciate. I appreciate anyone who's here. Kirby Bosch, go sub to Kirby Bosch. In fact, let's see. I'm gonna search up this person on not Kirby Bosch, Kirby Yoshi. God, I got stuff. Why am I creating? Go subscribe. Go subscribe. I what was that? I seemed like a they're good. So you know what? I'll just subscribe. You know a lot of anime stuff. Let's see. Here.
give to you. So, you know, I understand why big commentary YouTubers didn't pick this up earlier, or why some still won't. And yeah, that's fine.
Well, I would like to think of myself as not someone who is bought and paid for by anyone. So, and people saying that is just like so funny to me. I have all of my Twitter DMs are literally, how much did he pay you? And it's so funny because I really wish he would have paid me. I do actually at this point, but no. How much did I pay you to be nice to me for this video?
Just give me some candy, sour.gg.
Jokes aside, don't bring me up. Like, I know you're a funny guy. You're
Yeah.
a clever dude. If there was a product, let's say Mr. Beast has his candy product and he's promoting it and he's just a YouTuber, what do you think the way Mr. Beast should go about Feastables from this point on? Like, do you think it's savable at this point? Because I feel like your criticism of like the whole health thing, it's bad from the very beginning, right? Like he started off on the wrong foot. And now it's just going to be worse and worse and worse. Unless he can pull a Logan Paul, which he definitely will be able to. Let's be real. He's going to be able to pull a Logan Paul. Like, he can be the bad guy now. Mr. Beast, after your video, Mr. Beast, in my opinion, will be the next Logan Paul. The general consensus on YouTube for the 30, 40 million people that exist in this commentary sphere, the internet culture sphere, probably from now on will just hate Mr. Beast, and he's going to be the new Logan Paul. Do you think that there's a way that he could have gone about the Feastables thing in the beginning that would have been better? Because in my opinion, that's like the first, and like that's what began all of this stuff, is him being more than just Mr. Beast. He's got this huge thing now.
I mean, Feastables is just a snack brand. It's not specifically the chocolate. He's done protein bars in the past. Like, that might better align with his brand now. But like, I think he's trying to grow up his audience, and he lost a bunch of weight and working out and everything. So I think it is recoverable, but maybe on the chocolate side, it's a bit iffy. I mean, did he really ever have success with selling a chocolate product, or did he have success with, marketing, right? Like, I think he was just more successful on the marketing front, because he just did the same thing that he was doing with the live streams, but instead of t-shirts, he like switched it out for Feastables, and then he like made it.
Yeah. If you want to watch it, I think we're gonna end it actually there. We've gone for over an hour. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you later. Bye, everyone. We're gonna do the Star Spangled Banner before we sign off.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.